we've got the stream behind us and we're just about to head up this, carry on up this lane, and just in front of us is this sign, Serpent's Trail, which one day we will get back onto, and restricted byway. So we've got to break out of this shadow of these trees soon, out into bright sunlight. And if my memory served me correctly, then Dunford House is just past the stream that I've been walking through, and it's just round here. I was just about to say, if I remember right, it's got some really old street lamps out the front of it, and here's one right in front of me. So I know that this is exactly where I wanted to be. But again, I've got to be careful because of the sun. So it's a while since I've been here. But this is Dunford House, and this is where Charles Cobden was born, and Richard Cobden. I knew I'll get it wrong one day, sooner or later. His family had to leave Dunford when his grandfather died, but he was able to buy it back later in life and had extensive alterations made between 1847 and 1853. He happily farmed over 130 acres of fields, coppice and plantations. The house was gifted to the YMCA on the condition that it was used for educational purposes, but the charity caused controversy when it was announced it would be selling the property in 2019. Planning applications for change of use were turned down earlier this year. So it's actually just perched on the brow of a little hill just off of Dunford Lane. Lovely position. I would love to have wandered up there and had a look across the valley to see what we've got up there. But it looks as though the house is empty. Am I brave enough to walk up there and actually have a look, just see if we can have a quick look round? What do you think, Cynthia?
There's some notices on.
Oh, let's have a look at these notices. The driveway comes, oh, there's somebody up there in the garden. Yeah, that's a shame. Well, we've actually walked up the driveway now and spoken to a gentleman that's working here and asked him if it's possible for us to have a wander around, which he said it is. So we're right at the side of where Richard Cobden lived, and obviously his grandfather owned the house at one point, but there's a plaque on the wall here that says Dunford House, National Council of YMCAs, that they all may be one, home of Richard Cobden MP, 1804 to 1865. So you've got this rather grand sort of porch, walk-in porch entrance with 3 arches to it, and you've got the main front door there. Fairly plain panelled door, but let's just have a wander around the outside. And I'll just back away a little bit so that I can get the full house into the shot. But let me just, it's obviously just a painted white building. Very plain looking chimneys along the top, which are rendered. You've got a bay window in the front here. And this is the views looking across the gardens here with these oak trees and beech trees in the gardens and the grounds. A huge orangery, I would have said, on the side, and conservatory, greenhouse I mean. But a really, really lovely old-fashioned, what I call a typical country house, greenhouse and orangery. But it's amazing, absolutely beautiful place. Very lucky to have been able to come up here and actually have a look at it. And it's got these steps up here, which clearly must have led to the farmland, which I'm guessing was here. And this gives you a better view from the top part here. Let's just have a look, see what we've got along the sides. They're Georgian windows. We've got one window open there with a raised terraced area along the side. It looks as if there's a door that's open inside there, down the side there. And then I'm guessing that perhaps this was a later addition to the property, because this is all what they call crickle windows, metal window frames and doors all the way along this. So this was a later addition, which doesn't really go with the main house. It seems it's a little bit of an eyesore, in my opinion. But as a YMCA, then these sort of additional buildings would have been very important. But at some point they've actually had some modern windows, UPVC windows put in along the top. But it's a slate roof, and it's got metal guttering all the way around, apart from the addition over this side, which is all plastic guttering. But the views are just stunning.
In the sky.
Look in the sky, I'm looking in the sky. Oh yeah. A balloon's just floating across. So I was just saying, Cynthia, I wonder if this is some of the farmland that they farmed.
This was his land?
Yeah, all this land.
Was it 120 acres?
120 or 130, something like that, yeah. But of course, me being me, I want to get inside and have a look inside. But let's have a look. This is the view from the I'm guessing the south side. Well, we've come through some little bit of a wooded area, and we're now heading up this way. Either side we've got hedgerows, as you can see, which is a mixture of hazel and hawthorn by the looks of it. And just up in front of us there is the canine, is it canine partners, that's it, that's in Heyshott. Well, we're heading for one more thing to view, and that is Heyshott Church. I have been there once before, but it was last year, I believe, and everything was locked up and closed up, so couldn't get anywhere near it really. So that's what we're heading towards now, and it's getting hotter and hotter. It's got to be easily the mid-20s now. We had a little bit of a break back there, had some water, but we've just found a public footpath sign, which is what we were looking for, and it's pointing along that way. But I'd love to know how we're supposed to get through there. Well, that's the way it's pointing. Perhaps, yeah, Cynthia said perhaps we've got to go along here a little bit and then through. This is the area that I walked in once before. Oh, I think we turn into the left-hand side here, Cynthia. But the other thing we want to do, although we did have a little bit of a stop just now, is there's a pond up here at Heyshott, which we also want to sit by the pond for a few minutes. Ah, yeah, I remember it now. Canine Partners is this building over here, and we've got to follow this footpath along here. And you can see the little butterflies fluttering about. There's one just come round the corner for me. We just got to go along here. We've left the bench, and there's the view of the pond as we start moving away from it. Wherever Cynthia is, here she comes, look. So we're doing a little bit of a loop around part of the pond, which is nice. Well, Cynthia and I decided to stop at the Unicorn pub, which is just back up the way there, and get a nice cold drink. So we're walking along now, and we're just coming up to the church. We've got these lovely cottages that are around us. We've got the back entrance here, which Cynthia's just heading straight through. We've got this lovely wall. Typically, it's a flint and brick wall, which is typical for Sussex. Into this lovely little churchyard. And here we have, we've got the church in front of us. The name I don't know yet, because we haven't come in the main entrance, but you can see it looks like a flint and stone built building. Big stone buttresses around this. We're at the east end at the moment, east and south side. The tower, or the bell tower, is wood shingle and cladding. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 yew trees around the boundary. 5, 6 trees by the looks of it. So here we have the main entrance to the church. The porch. Let me just stop and just show you these different headstones. These are metal headstones, and there's several different ones, and I'll try and point them out to you as I go round a little bit. Here we have the entrance porch here. The door to the porch is open, so that's great news. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. The porch, as you can see, has got 2 outer doors, which are probably oak, with some oak cladding above, and a wooden gable. We've got a tiled roof. And Cynthia's just told me this is St James. And here we are. In fact, it's predominantly flint. And you've got the stone mullions on the side there. And we've got this lovely big tree here. So let's just have a little bit of a wander around this way and have a look. We'll see what else we've got here. I'll try and get down a bit further away from the church so that we can have a proper look at it. Just trying to weave my way amongst these headstones. No, still not clear of those yet. Let me come right over here. There's a bench seat just over here. Let me just have a look from this angle here. So I'm on the north side of the church now, and it's got some leaded light windows there. So let me just take the weight off my feet a minute. Just have a look. I've got some information here, and I'll try and pick out some points for you. It's a 13th century church, has a 19th century chancel on the north aisle. And it says Heyshott lies in the wooded commons north of the Downs and was until 1882 a chapelry of Stedham. There is documentary evidence of a chapel here in the 12th century, but it is likely to have been elsewhere. For in 1972, a potter's kiln dated to the early 13th century was found at the west end of the church. We've been around the outside. Now we're going to see if the church is open. So Cynthia, if you can go in and try the door, please, as we go in through these first 2 doors. Let's see if the church is open, which it is. Is there any light? Oh. Yeah. Excellent. Let's have a look. We've just sanitised our hands before we come in, because on the outside there's none. Oh, there is some sanitiser on the inside, but that doesn't matter, we've already done our hands. So as we come into the church, we're immediately underneath the bell tower. And I mentioned just now in some of the descriptions I gave you about the size of the timbers. They are huge. So the walls are completely painted, which actually makes the beams stand out even more, which is lovely. And this is just such a small church, but we've got this huge set of organ pipes just in front of us. And again, just in front of me, we've got the font. So let's just have a wander down. We've got a huge coat of arms up here above the south entrance door to the church. But just tucked up in this corner, the priests of St James of Heyshott. And it goes right back to 1135 and up to the present one, which is Lady Linda M. Robertson, 2016. We've got a graveyard plot layout, which is lovely to see, with all the names of the graves on each one there. The door is huge. Let me just pop this door too, so that we can have a look at this door from the inside. I can tell you by just closing that door, that's very heavy. Huge hinges on it, and we've got this wooden lock held in place by these brass metal plates. But interestingly, the latch is wood as well. So let me just have a wander around here. The floor is very different in areas. We've got some tiles, the rest of it is sort of slabs, and the floor dips in the middle as you come in. There's an inscription on the slab just in front of me, which is very difficult to read. So I'm heading up towards the east end, towards the altar. And very different stained glass windows. And they're on both sides. And it's got like a floral pattern, or of leaves with little buds above them. On here, slightly different, and it looks like they've got initials on there. Could be TMC, I don't know, it's very difficult to tell, but it's very different to what I've seen before. Another doorway here, again in the same sort of style as the main church entrance. Again, big hinges, wooden lock, and this one's got this sort of slightly horizontal timbers to it. Just here we've got the pulpit. Let me just have a look up in the pulpit. So we're just slightly raised up there. And we've got the big arches, big stone arches, which separates the main chancel from the nave. But very few things on the walls, interestingly. But the one thing that today that we've been in search of, and that's to do with Richard Cobden, is directly in front of me. This tablet was placed here by his daughter Jane Cobden Unwin and her husband T. Fisher Alwyn, I think that says, in loving memory of Richard Cobden, who was born at the old farmhouse at Dunford in this parish on the 3rd of June 1804. A Sussex man, he was universally known as a great reformer and became leader of the Anti-Corn League. His private virtues were equal to his public spirit. He was beloved by his neighbours in his lifetime. His fame spread all over the world, and his name shall live forevermore. He died on the 23rd of April 1865, I think that says, and he lies buried in the churchyard of West Lavington to guide our feet into my peace. That's a lovely thing to have put up. So when we go along here, we've got a stone plaque there in memory of the Reverend Caleb Collins, for 53 years rector of Stedham and Heyshott. This tablet is placed here by his parishioners in Heyshott in token of their great affection and respect for him and their sorrow when he died. Well, that's it. We finished our walk for today. Well, we haven't finished our walk for today. We've got a walk now from Heyshott to Midhurst to get back. But we finished the purpose of our walk today, and that's to find out about Richard Cobden. And finding the notice in the plaque, the plaque in there, which was nice to find that as perhaps a last bit. But with the Church of St James's, St James, I've got it right, with the backdrop of the Church of St James's of Heyshott behind Cynthia and I. So this will be Kevin and Cynthia saying bye-bye, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye, bye, bye-bye.
Hello. If you've enjoyed Kevin's video today, why not subscribe to his Kevin's Rambles YouTube channel, give us a like and follow us in the future, and we'll see you on the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.